Chris, take care.
Okay. Alright, check this out. It's Resident Evil on Game Boy Color. Yes, Game Boy Color. I first heard about this port back in the late 90s, and to be honest, I thought it was the most ridiculous concept ever. I mean, seriously, how the hell did Capcom expect to cram all of this onto this? We're talking about the Game Boy Color here. While it does improve on the original's tech specs, Game Boy Color remains an 8-bit handheld with titles rarely exceeding 4 megabytes in size. So you'd imagine Resident Evil would have to be cut down to its bare essentials. You wouldn't expect it to look anything like the actual game. At best, it would probably share more in common with Link's Awakening, with a top-down perspective and simplified actions, kinda like Resident Evil Gaiden. Well, you'd be wrong. This is Resident Evil on the Game Boy Color. For those that may be unaware, this port, or should I say conversion, wasn't developed in-house. That was bestowed on Hotgen Studios, and like Angel Studios with Resident Evil 2 on Nintendo 64, they went above and beyond. Sadly, Capcom canceled the release well into production, fearing it wouldn't satisfy consumers in the long run. So glad they came to that conclusion with the game resting at 90% completion.
Bruh, fucking bro.
Anyway, the ROM was made available much later, allowing fans a rare glimpse at what could have been. I took it one step further and purchased this physical copy, complete with box and instructions from Retro Game Lab. If only this were legit, am I right? I mean, it looks fantastic. There's a few different versions floating about with varying degrees of functionality. This one lets me play as both Chris and Jill. The only functioning weapons are the knife, pistol, and shotgun. While you can pick up ammo for both, the weapons have unlimited ammo, so there's little point. You can find the bazooka in Jill's game, but I can't equip the damn thing. Another oddity is that you can't combine herbs, which kinda sucks, though red herbs will heal you without mixing. Now, I'm fairly certain it would have been corrected prior to release along with in-game messages. The game doesn't always tell you when a door is locked or what's been carved into the knob. Also, what few memo and journal entries I found were incomplete. Bummer. There's a few visual bugs like character sprites appearing in front of foreground objects, and the zombies don't fall down when they die, instead they drop to their knees. Speaking of zombies, they're the only enemies you'll face. No crows, Cerberus, or spiders to be seen. The giant snake is on deck, but it doesn't attack. Fuck, it doesn't even move. Finally, this version won't let you finish the game. You're blocked from Plant 42 because the damn shelf won't recognize the red book. That sucks. Tremendous ass. But, like I said, I'm sure these issues would have been addressed long before it shipped. Other than that, the game plays like Resident Evil. The fixed cameras, tank controls, many of the puzzles, the typewriters, and bottomless hope chests, even in-game cutscenes. Honestly, I'm stunned. Much to my surprise, this handles very well. Some have said it's worse than the PlayStation original. If I'm being fair, I do find him a tad clunky in that turning is best when tapping the D-pad. Holding the D-pad, as I would in the original, will result in overshooting my desired direction. If you're a fan of tank controls, however, this is a minor inconvenience. The graphics are stunning for the platform. It's amazing just how much detail they crammed on screen. I'm really impressed by these character sprites. They're well animated and even retain their waiting poses. That's cool. The backgrounds lack the same color and detail found in the original release, obviously, but they do look incredible here on Game Boy. You're not going to look at these screens wondering where the fuck you are. This is way more than I would have dared hope for from a Game Boy Color. I'm just like, wow. Coders may as well be fucking magicians. The music's adequately creepy even though there's only one track. I like to think they would have included one more piece for boss battles had they been allowed to finish. If not, that's fine, but still. Sound effects are light. Footsteps and gunfire once you're playing, and standard stuff you'd expect while navigating menus. Nothing earth-shattering, though not bad. Bugs notwithstanding, this is one hell of an achievement for HotGen Studios. It faithfully recreates that classic Resident Evil experience as best it can on Game Boy Color. I played this for well over an hour as Chris, which may be the most time I've ever clocked with the handheld outside of Tetris. If only Capcom had allowed developers to complete their work here, this could have been another great for Game Boy. The adventure was just as alluring on the small screen as it was on PlayStation and Saturn. Then again, I'm a nut for this series, so that may not be without bias. Regardless, I don't think I would have been the only freak buying up copies upon release. In closing, I think Resident Evil on Game Boy Color was more than doable. As far as I'm concerned, they did it. Hats off to HotGen Studios for managing the impossible and bringing one of my favorite games of all time to another system. Now, if only somebody could do this for Jaguar.